martyrdom, enslaving, Godfather energy, the gangster mentality, or it's some kind of like sneaky, manipulative energy that kind of goes between teams. Whatever these things are that you're playing, they're not serving you. And in truth, true love is when you come back to alignment with self. Self-love, living authentically, living courageously, even when it seems no one is standing at your side, because you believe so strongly in this mission. You know what you're talking about. You know what love is. You know you will not tolerate dishonor another day. Maybe your life gets taken for it. You know what? Big picture, our souls are infinite. Our souls keep going. And if we stop making our choices out of fear, and we start today to really make our choices from love, self-love, and what is our highest mission? Like, what do we stand for? We will realize we are more powerful than we could even comprehend. And I feel like in the big picture, working with so many clients and really seeing what people are going through and honoring that, because I've been through it myself. I have so much honor for the courage of a soul to heal and to do their work. When I see what all they've gone through to get where they are today, it gives me so much hope for like the bigger picture, that I see that it's just simple choices. We make things so complex. So many of you that are at home worrying about things, you're stressing about big things that you really can't have any control over, but you're ignoring what you do have control over. So you might be sitting there complaining about the government or complaining about, what's screwed up in your town or in your church or in your family or whatever, but it's a distraction because you're not looking at what is kind of out of alignment in yourself, that if you focused there, you would have power. You would be able to do something. So we may not feel like we can go out and make everyone else get it, and nor do I feel we're here to. I'm not here to save the world. I'm not here to go and make sure everyone understands about angels or make sure everyone understands about healing and consciousness. But I am here to help the ones who are ready. I am here to help the ones who are done suffering. And if you each are done contributing to the enablement of problem, and you're here to start a shift into that alignment, starting with yourself, then you'll know by your own alignment you can assist and help all those who are ready. It's really how it works. When we're in our alignment, we lead and guide others to our example. They can't help but notice the courage of our life. But when we're out of alignment, we can't really feel powerful or confident because we see that we're out of alignment. We see that we're hypocrites because we're really saying one thing, but we're not living it. Even if we're saying confident, like if I'm talking about empowerment today, but then behind the scenes in my mind, no one hears my thoughts, but if in my thoughts, I'm just like, oh, Tanya, you're never going to be good enough. When will they think you're good enough? And like, what do we have to do to get more people to think we're good enough? I'm going to suffer. So if my motivation is coming from how do I get approval, I am enslaved by that. If my motivation to speak comes from truth in itself, truth and alignment and liberation, period, there's no need for their approval or worry about anyone's rejection. This is a place of power, and this is actually love. We stop saying things to people of what we think they want to hear. We stop giving messages because we're afraid, so we kind of hold back the truth. Love, to me, is truth. If someone is suffering, struggling, and they may, come to you and say, what do I do about this? And they're your close friends, so you don't want to hurt them. You don't want them to reject you. But you get a strong intuitive knowing of what to say, and it's kind of to shine the light on their own behavior. But you're like, oh, but I don't want to lose them. I don't want them to not like me. So you tell them what they want to hear. And then that soul continues suffering and continues crying out for help. I feel love in its highest essence is truth. When someone's struggling and they come to me and say, Tanya, I feel like I need some help. And like, what are you sensing? And I will tune in and say, are you ready for the messages? Because I have some, and they're going to challenge your belief systems. They're going to challenge what you have aligned with at your core, because you feel that everything's got to be hard, or you feel that there's no gain without pain, or whatever the belief system may be. And so I feel love is where we really help set others free and liberate them, because we bring them truth. And it's when we honor our children, when we're a teacher and our children come and they challenge us when we're kind of full of shit, and then we don't really want children to challenge us. If we don't want that and we're in ego mode, we're going to shame those children, and we're going to tell them, how dare you challenge my authority, and we're going to punish them, and we're going to enslave them and teach them, don't you dare challenge authority again. Is that really love? I think that's the worst thing we could do, and it is definitely not love. So we need to start really understanding what love is, and it's not the romance movies, it's not the Godfather gangster energy. It's really surrender, it's trust, it's truth, it's liberation, and it's freedom. And when you love a soul, like you could deeply love someone. I could love my child so much and want such good for that child. And that child's angry and they're hurting and they want to go in a direction. And the best thing a mother can do or a father can do in this situation, or a lover, you have a lover that you love them and you wish they could trust you. You wish that they could just feel safe and be with you, but they're fighting and there's fire and they got stuff to heal. And so they hurt you and they reject you and they leave. The best thing we can do is to love ourselves through that whole process, check in and say, what part of myself drew this experience to me? What is there inside of myself that needs to be healed, that this situation is really amplifying my attention on? And then how do I love them and release them? Sometimes loving someone is letting go. Sometimes loving is speaking truth, loving and honoring your own healthy boundaries, and then letting another go. That is love. It's not stalker energy. It is not Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet is sick. It is actually very abusive, addictive, and pain body to the core. But so many of us have to wake up because our society, the music, the top 40 music in particular, and a lot of the films, they're very like pain body, addiction messages. And we need to start looking into that and realizing that this is being fed to us. And if we don't have the awareness to observe it for what it is and question and to seek deeper understanding, we just participate with it. We just kind of unconsciously go in and we start participating with these projections, and we start suffering with them too. And I feel like if we can understand and identify what love actually is, and we can break free of all that, we really have a shot as far as healing ourselves and being an empowered space with our own life, and as well as healing the planet. So I hope this year on Valentine's Day, not one of you listening, if you're not with someone, feels like you're a loser. Because what a really dumb thing to think, just because it's a day of the year. And there's so much that we have projected upon us about holidays. Christmas comes around. Oh, I'm lonely suddenly. No one's with me. I feel so depressed. I feel suicidal because I start totally focusing on being alone and thinking that something's wrong with that and that no one's buying me presents. And there's all this projection of what we should be expecting. Same thing happens at Valentine's Day. People start to feel depressed. Oh, I don't have a relationship. And it starts fueling the ego. And the ego's like, oh, yes, it's Valentine's Day. I'm going to make this bitch suffer. And I'm going to just tell her how sucky she is and no one wants you. And the ego wants that suffering for you. It's like a dark part of you that wants you to suffer. And if we start ignoring it and we don't feed it, I'm telling you, you will get your alignment and your power back. And it's Valentine's Day. It's the 14th of February. Big freaking deal. It's a day of the year. But if you're in a relationship and you want to go out to dinner and you want to do fun things, go for it. If you're not in a relationship and you want to go out and treat yourself to a nice dinner, go for it. Any day of the week. Doesn't matter what day it is. But really check into how we have these belief systems about an expectation of a day, an expectation of how something should be happening. Expectation creates suffering often. We can have a sense of, I am asking the universe for something. Universe, I would love a soulmate. I would love someone who loves me, honors me, treats me with the deepest respect, who is here to support me, support my soul mission. But here's the thing. I have to be that first. If I want to invite that into my life, I have like hiccups right now. If I want that, I as Tanya have to align with that myself. I have to be the vibrational alignment of that. From that place, now I magnetically will draw it in. But it has nothing to do with expectation, and expectations will cause a lot of suffering in relationships, in any kind of relationship, actually. And so I encourage you to not look at one day of the year as a love day. It's just a projection. Society has a way of telling us what days we should go shopping, what we should go do on those days. It's time to go buy more food and chocolate. If you want to do those things, great. But you might want to actually reinvent some of your own traditions, some of your own heartfelt expressions of what you would like that day to represent. And if you don't feel like anything's going on in your movie that matches up, don't take it personally. Don't feed your ego with it. But I encourage you to see that every single day, from my perspective, is Love Day. Every single day has the potential for us to be in a space of love and honor, starting with self-love, starting with honoring how we really feel, learning how to say no, learning how to say the truth, learning how to speak and let Spirit speak through us with honor and clarity to another, and helping us to be in our power and less in a place of enslavement. That's what I feel love is. So I'm going to take a pause now. Woo, I was going.
Ooh, so you were going.
Yes, I was. I need to drink water.
You need to take a longer break. Eileen is saying, I feel I have been loving myself now more than ever and have been doing tons of inner work around the area of self-love and relationships. I used to have codependent, attached relationship and would give my power away. Now, I feel like so many of these old patterns are dissipating as I continue to become a new person. Your teaching and aura clearing over the last few months have been incredible, and I have noticed huge shifts in myself, and I have really been working hard on myself every day. Awesome. Whenever I sense small old egoic things arising in me, I pay attention to what it is teaching me, and then I work on healing those parts, fully accepting them, releasing them, and I feel like I'm 97% of the way there toward self-love, manifesting my dreams and true love.
Really?
It has come down to daily self-reflection, learning, being receptive to higher guidance, and being our best each day. The more true love and healing will come into our lives. I feel like I'm living a new life and manifesting a better future because each day my goal is to take action that are self-loving to improve life every day. So she says that, and then Ron says, can I get an amen? Well explained, Eileen. He said, being the wife of this wonderful healer angel named Tanya. Yeah, that's what he says. Of this wonderful healer angel named Tanya Love has totally put me on a different path than my past. I feel so more aligned, as well as learning more every day. And he adds, I love her. And Eileen says, I'm so happy for you, Ron, and for Tanya. You are both beautiful souls, and your shared love together is so beautiful to see. Tanya is such a loving person, and I feel so grateful to know her. And Ron says, yes, yes, yes. And then
you guys.
And then he said, now he says, oops, husband, that is.
I was going to say, I was like, is he making a joke there, my wife?
The truth came out the first time. It was natural. You cannot take that back.
That's so funny. Well, thank you both for your honor. And I feel like I have watched both these humans that are speaking, Ron, my beloved, and Eileen, a beautiful soul sister. And I've seen them both do their work, and I've seen them both show up, and at times where the challenges were there and tears were coming and the truth was put in, that shadow was put right into the light to be healed and transmuted. And these are very courageous souls that I have had the honor to actually assist and work closely with. And yeah, Eileen's one of these souls I was talking about in the beginning, where I see the ones who are coming and doing their healing work, Like some of these people have had several clearings, and I think there's like there's an understanding first that the first session with most clearings is